Subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon, to never miss a video from us. Hi everyone, welcome to Test Prep Training. In this video you will learn about some commonly asked questions in planning and administering Microsoft Azure for SAP Workloads AZ120. So let's get started. Question number 1. You have an on-premises SAP environment that uses AIX servers, and IBM DB2 as the database platform. You plan to migrate SAP to Azure. In Azure, the SAP workloads will use Windows Server and Microsoft SQL Server as the database platform. What should you use to export from DB2 and import the data to SQL Server? Your options are A. Reload, B. Azure SQL Data Warehouse, C. SQL Server Management Studio, D. R3 Trans. The correct answer is option C. You can refer the following for the explanation of the answer. You have an SAP environment that is managed by using VMware vCenter. You plan to migrate the SAP environment to Azure. You need to gather information to identify which compute resources are required in Azure. What should you use to gather the information? Your options are A. Azure Migrate and SAP Early Watch Alert Reports, B. Azure Site Recovery and SAP Quick Sizer, C. SAP Quick Sizer and SAP HANA System Replication, D. Azure Site Recovery Deployment Planner and SAP HANA Cockpit. The correct answer is option A. You can refer the following for the explanation of the answer. Plan to migrate an SAP ERP Central Component Production System to Azure. You are reviewing the SAP Early Watch Alert report for the system. You need to recommend sizes for the Azure virtual machines that will host the system. Which two sections of the report should you review? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Your options are A. Hardware capacity, B. Patch levels under SAP software configuration, C. Hardware configuration under landscape, D. Database and ABAP load optimization, E. Data volume management. The correct answers are option A and D. You plan to migrate an SAP environment to Azure. You need to recommend a solution to migrate the SAP application servers to Azure. The solution must minimize downtime and changes to the environments. What should you include in the recommendation? Your options are A. Azure Storage Explorer, B. Azure Import or Export Service, C. OSCOPE, D. Azure Site Recovery. The correct answer is option D. You can refer the following for the explanation of the answer. You plan to migrate an on-premises SAP development system to Azure. Before the migration, you need to check the usage of the source system hardware, such as CPU, memory, network, etc. Which transaction should you run from SAP GUI? Your options are A. SM51, B. DB01, C. DB12, D. OS07N. The correct answer is option D. You can refer the following for the explanation of the answer. You plan to migrate an SAP HANA instance to Azure. You need to gather CPU metrics from the last 24 hours from the instance. Solution: you query views from SAP HANA Studio. Does this meet the goal? Your options are A. Yes, B. No. The correct answer is option B. You can refer the following for the explanation of the answer. You plan to migrate an SAP HANA instance to Azure. You need to gather CPU metrics from the last 24 hours from the instance. Solution: you run SAP HANA Quick Sizer. Does this meet the goal? Your options are A. Yes, B. No. The correct answer is option B. And here's the explanation of the answer. You plan to migrate an SAP HANA instance to Azure. You need to gather CPU metrics from the last 24 hours from the instance. Solution: you use DBA Cockpit from SAP GoA. Does this meet the goal? Your options are A. Yes, B. No. The correct answer is option A. And here's the explanation of the answer. have an existing SAP production landscape that uses SAP HANA databases. You plan to migrate the landscape to Azure. Which Azure Virtual Machine series will be Azure supported for the production SAP HANA database deployment? Your options are A. F series, B. A series, C. M series, D. N series. The correct answer is option C. You plan to deploy an SAP environment on Azure that will use Azure Availability Zones. Which load balancing solution supports the deployment? Your options are A. Azure Basic Load Balancer, B. Azure Standard Load Balancer, C. Azure Application Gateway v1 SKU. The correct answer is option B. You can refer the following for the explanation of the answer. For more such videos, subscribe to our channel.